The ceasefire between Lebanon and Israel has now been extended by 3 weeks. This comes after a high-level meeting at the White House with US President Donald Trump announcing the decision on April 23rd. Trump met both sides in Washington. Israel's ambassador Yechiel Leiter and Lebanon's ambassador Nada Hamadeh Moawad were part of the talks held at the Oval Office. This was the second round of US-facilitated discussions, coming just a day after Israeli strikes killed at least 5 people, including a journalist.
We had a great meeting with the very high officials of Lebanon and very high officials of Israel, and we think that the president of Lebanon and the prime minister of Israel over the next couple of weeks will be coming here. They've agreed to an additional 3 weeks of, no firing, ceasefire, no more firing. Let's see. We hope that happens. It's not going to happen between them, but they do have Hezbollah to think about. We had a great conversation, and I think it's the beginning of something very important. It'd be a wonderful thing to get this worked out simultaneously with what we're doing in Iran. If you look at Hezbollah, that's where everybody seems to be united against them. So they are both very united in that way. I think there's a very good chance of having peace. I think it should be an easy one. Relative to some of the things we're working on, it should be an easy one.
The ceasefire, set to expire on April 26th, has reduced violence to some extent. But Israeli operations have continued in southern Lebanon, with fresh strikes on what Israel says are Hezbollah positions. The Israeli army released visuals of what it described as strikes on rocket launchers at a Hezbollah site. It also said it targeted a launcher that had fired rockets towards the Israeli area of Shtula shortly before. Israeli troops are still present in parts of southern Lebanon, where they have created what they call a buffer zone. On the other side, Hezbollah has said it still has the right to resist what it calls occupying forces. Amid all this, there are also questions about the future of the UN peacekeeping mission in Lebanon. The United Nations Interim Force in Lebanon, also known as UNIFIL, has been deployed in the region since 1978. It currently has more than 7,000 peacekeepers from 47 countries. In recent weeks, 5 UNIFIL peacekeepers have been killed in the conflict, including personnel from Indonesia and France. UN peacekeeping chief Jean-Pierre Lacroix has said some form of UN presence could continue even after the current mandate ends later this year.
Again, we listen to the Lebanese authorities, they're the host government, so these are, of course, the most important interlocutors, and they're very clear that they would want to keep a UN presence. Again, not necessarily identical to UNIFIL, but they have an interest which they share to us, particularly, again, in the area of monitoring, reporting, observing, deconflicting, liaising. There are a number of capacities that they would want to keep, which we have been providing, or at least in which we've been providing a contribution. And so all of this we are factoring in the various options that we're currently preparing.